Welcome to Blood and Hope Detroit, everyone. It is an evening. For those of you watching, you might see a name you recognize. For those of you listening, my name is Feyla. I'm the storyteller for the evening. And joining me is Cocia, playing Lottie. Speak. Say hello.
Heyo. No, I don't want to say hello. I'm antisocial tonight.
Nenavar,
Hi, I'm
playing
Cocia.
Nenavar, playing William.
Hello.
Dengle, playing Rufus. Sorry.
Hi, Steven. I mean, William.
Did I say Steven?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Okay. Reverend Rufus Horton. And then Buttons, playing Shiloh.
Hey, guess who has no voice tonight, and so she's playing the quiet character again.
Alright, who wants to start us off with summarizing up last game?
Holy crap. I mean, we just played on Saturday, and I'm like, oh, I'm starting to draw a blank already. Let's see. What did happen?
A lot happened. It was a very...
Coterie.
It was a very eventful evening. You guys started off your evenings doing your own thing, and then got a message from Kat saying to meet her at her haven. You guys all arrived there. Rufus before anyone else. They had a private discussion. You all arrived. The discussion continued. King was threatened. You guys were threatened. Anas was vicissituted. And then eaten by the ground.
An 8.
Because Kat's a Koldoon earth sorcerer. And then you guys were told in quite plain terms to leave and don't come back today. That night. You got hold of Chris. Met some Thin Bloods.
Found out Lottie is a spray paint genius, apparently.
Started a working relationship with said Thin Bloods by doing art. One not so great, one okay, and one fabulous one by Lottie done in the skivvies. So that was fun. Debbie got hold of Lottie saying that she had business opportunities popping up in other cities. So she is packing up and getting ready to leave Detroit, leaving her sister and her current business behind. Isn't that right, Buttons?
That would be correct.
Okay. So, did I leave anything out?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you pretty much got everything.
Yeah, just a minor discussion with Lottie and the rest of the Coterie about the possibility of turning Willow.
Oh, that was a continue. I had to go get the dog. That meant I will be right back. Okay. Yes, there was a discussion about Willow and what could be done with her as well. So, we are picking up on the next evening, which I forget what the date was. I think it was the 9th. 9th or 10th?
Yes, it was the 9th.
Okay. And so, the evening comes. You guys awaken. Please give me a rouse checks.
Passed.
Success.
I don't believe that I've passed the rouse check yet.
So
I
you
passed.
are... Okay, what are you at, Rufus?
That would be 2.
Okay. Is everyone else at 1?
Yep, 1.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know, good to know. How would you like to begin your evenings? William, is there anything you would like to start with? If there's nothing special, we can move on. You just have a little bit of time before anything happens, so.
Yeah, I'll just probably do some chores around the apartment and try to once again look for a job.
Okay. Give me that. What did I have you roll last time? Wits and something, I believe.
Streetwise, I think.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I got nothing.
Okay. Now you are aware that you can continue doing jobs on and off for Charlotte to make money. She will pay you.
Yes.
Okay. So you spend a few hours fruitlessly looking for jobs that would meet the criteria you require. Unfortunately. Lottie?
Lottie will go through and check out all of her stocks and whatnot. She'll also send King a message just being like, hey, I want some advice about computers. I want to build a better home office. Let me know whenever we can chat. And then she will also reach out to Kassidy if Kassidy would be available for a meeting tonight or sometime in the near future.
Okay. So, King would get back to you relatively quickly, saying, sure, we can do that. I can have Mike go over to figure out the office specs, or you can just come by whenever.
Alright, wonderful. Whichever's easiest. I mean, I know what I'm doing with technology, but getting a hold of everything that I want might be a little harder to do than, just going to Staples or whatever.
Acquiring them won't be a problem. I just need to know what.
Alright, I'll make a list.
Okay. Cass does not get back with you yet. You are left on red for a little bit. Your stocks...
I expected that.
Your stocks are okay. The one that dropped, or that's... What was it? Dropped or spiked last time? It seems to be stabilized pretty well. So nothing odd seems to be going on there now. Rufus, how would you like to begin your evening?
Rufus would actually like to begin his evening by doing some drawing. Coming up with kind of a symbol to go by for him and his congregation, as it were.
Okay. Are you doing this with pencil, or are you doing it with paint and paintbrush?
He'd probably start sketching with like a pencil on paper.
Okay. So then go ahead and give me dexterity and craft, but don't add the specialty dice. Just whatever normal craft you have.
So, fun fact, I've got 2 blood dice and 1 regular dice for this. So I rolled 4 successes.
Okay.
So figure that out as you may.
I don't really see that applying, in my opinion. I can't think of a way that would apply to just painting or drawing. So you're good.
Okay.
Everything's fine there. So 4 successes, you come out with a pretty good one. Comes out, you'd hoped for better, I think, but you're happy with it. It's good enough for now.
Okay.
And then Shiloh. Your drive with Kat was fine. discussions will have been had in skits, so you'll know more what's going on. But you had arrived at Cat's Haven the previous night, and she had received news that she was very much not happy about. You were offered to spend the night there, despite being warned that it was potentially compromised currently. So it is up to you if you had stayed there the previous night or not.
She probably would not have, just out of courtesy to not wanting to take up space and being in their way while they figure out what's going on. She didn't want to add to whatever they've got going on.
Okay. If those were the words you told them, then they would assure you that you would not be, because you would have Cat's room and it would be quite out of the way. But Cat would help put you up somewhere with someone else if that is what you chose to do. There were a few people offered. Not King. Obviously. Valentina. And there was a few others. Peter was one of them as well. So you have your range of options of people in Detroit. Charlotte, not Cass, but Charlotte, Peter, Valentina, and a few others. Not terribly many, as Cat doesn't trust too many people.
She'd probably accept staying with Valentina.
Okay. So you would be dropped off at a casino, and Borea would escort you inside to meet with Valentina. Cat has arranged this without you knowing what actually took place in said arrangement. So, you wake up in the casino. You'd met with Valentina the night before and talked. She is a fairly straightforward, mostly straightforward Ventru with a strong personality. When you were escorted back, most of her employees were female, and there was a couple of them that helped you and got you set up and everything. So, you start your evening in some of the private quarters that she has kind of put away for her people. Sorry. Is there anything in particular you would like to do? You're muted.
My apologies. She doesn't need to feed yet. She would probably... let's see. She would have, Rufus's contact information, wouldn't she?
If you had asked for it, you would be given it, yes.
Yeah, she would have asked for it. She would send a text to...
Go ahead.
Okay, I just didn't know if you were about to say something. She would send a text to Rufus saying, "Hey, I'm your contact. I have something for you. When can we meet up?"
Real fast before you answer. The previous night, as you were being driven to Valentina's, you were given your stack of paperwork for your new identity. Rufus, would you like to inform everyone what the name is?
Let me find it real quick.
Okay.
Because I know I sent it to you, I just don't know exactly where.
I believe it was Paula Drescher?
Yes, that is what that would be.
So, Shiloh's new name is Paula Drescher. It is a very complete one, has a history and everything, including social security number, so you are basically a living person again. Because, that's all that matters, right? A social identity.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Rufus, you can answer the message now.
I assume this is Paula, yes?
Of course.
Give me a location and I will come to you, assuming that you're not in with Ellie.
She'll send a text back. I'm sorry, I probably don't know Detroit as well as you do. Do you have any recommendations?
Pretty much just stay away from the hospital.
Okay.
Beyond that, you're mostly safe. I can also come pick you up if you just want me to. It's fine.
That would be appreciated. And then you would get a follow-up text. I'm staying with Miss Valentina at her casino. I'll meet you in the parking lot. Just text me when you're here.
I would appreciate it if you let her or one of her staff know that I'm coming that way. Just out of courtesy.
He'll get a thumbs up emoji.
And you could easily find one of the girls that you recognize to let Valentina know. So, Rufus, you begin your drive there. Lottie, you receive a text after maybe an hour or two. Just kind of simply stating, who is this?
It's Lottie.
Am I supposed to know you? Don't recognize your name.
We met briefly, but it's fine if you don't remember me.
What did you want to meet about?
Oh, I was supposed to be making sure that everything was good with parents.
Who's that?
No one important, apparently.
Do you need to meet about? And then there'll be one of those little emojis of a vampire.
Yeah.
You will get an address sent to you. And when you pull it up, it is just kind of a park. And a message saying, give me about an hour and I can meet you here if you still want to.
Sounds like a delight. Thanks.
And you receive a thumbs up emoji. Rufus, you finally arrive. Sorry, I blanked out for a second there. You arrive at Valentina's, standing out quite a bit. The cars here are... a lot of them are very nice.
As expected.
Yes. And you see someone standing out in the parking lot. Would you like to briefly describe what Shiloh looks like?
Sure. For those of you who have not been graced with Shiloh's presence yet, she is an average height, very, very skinny, very gaunt-looking young woman. She's wearing a slightly oversized jean jacket with a bunch of 80s and 90s bands, patches, just kind of haphazardly sewn on. She's wearing a dark red beanie pulled low over her forehead. She's got long, straight brown hair, goes about just past her shoulders. She's wearing, underneath the jean jacket, she's wearing just a plain black t-shirt and a pair of jeans, and she's got her signature Doc Martens on. And she's holding a package and looking around a little bit nervously.
So Rufus will pull up rather closely, close to where Shiloh is. You looking for a Reverend Horton, by chance?
That depends. Are you looking for a Miss Paula?
Yes.
She'll kind of smile nervously. You can call me Shiloh in our company, and she'll kind of jostle the package to show that she's got what he's looking for.
Hop in. I'm sure you're probably wanting to explore a little bit.
It'd be nice to learn the city while I'm here.
I promise you I don't bite. And regardless of what the van says, I'm not overly dangerous.
You really think I'd believe any one of us that said that?
Well, I'm a preacher, so...
Sure.
Yeah.
And she'll just kind of roll her eyes and get in the van.
Well, first things first. Welcome to Detroit. I'm sure Kat has already told you that, and possibly Valentina. However, this comes from somebody that's been here not as long as one, but longer than the other.
You've been around here a while.
Longer than I care to admit.
She'll just kind of look off like she's thinking, and she'll just kind of absent-mindedly hand Rufus the package.
And he will just slide it under his seat for now. Gingerly.
The package is not overly large. It wasn't sealed, but it also doesn't look like there was a broken seal, so it was kind of just gingerly wrapped up and packaged kind of in a box. Like wooden box, and then wrapped around it.
So yeah, he'll just start driving.
Okay.
After a few minutes of driving, Shiloh will kind of look over at Rufus. You know, usually when someone's able to buy a whole new life for a package, it means it's either really old, really valuable, or really dangerous. Do you mind telling me which one?
Would you mind telling me why you're so valuable first? And then I will tell you which one.
I guess it can't hurt, and she'll slide her beanie back to reveal a brown third eye sitting in the middle of her forehead.
That's fair. However, you're not the only one that I know. There are a couple more in the city.
She'll just
But
she'll look at Rev with wide eyes.
But specifically, why would you be worth that package? You must mean a lot to somebody, and you need to disappear badly.
I honestly don't know myself, but well, if Tori trusts you, I guess I can trust you. I escaped from a Camarilla stronghold in Portland and fled to Atlanta and got framed for something I didn't do and needed to escape a blood hunt.
That's fair. Now, to answer your question, all three, old, valuable, and dangerous.
Oh.
And he'll actually pull off to like a private parking lot, and he'll actually take the package out, unwrap it, and take the box and actually open it, and just kind of show Shiloh.
Wait a minute, is that...
Yes, it is.
Oh.
I was told that there was a snowball's chance in hell that I was going to get it from Coterie. Apparently, the snowball survived in hell for more than 5 minutes.
Wow. That explains a lot. Okay.
So, the identity that I gave you, well, in my personal opinion, you're not as attractive as the original one. I promise you, is as clean as you can possibly get, and about as bulletproof. So, you should be fine to go live whatever life it is that you want to live.
Well, I appreciate it.
So, leaving that conversation there for a minute. William, you finally get a text from your sire. All it says is, "How is Chris?"
Texting back, he's adjusting, but he's getting used to our life.
Good. I can report back good news then. And have you made something of yourself?
Nope.
No response. That was the end of that conversation rather quickly. You have apparently disappointed him.
As usual.
As usual. Lottie, you receive a text from Willow. Lots of texting tonight.
Lots of text. Woohoo.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Better. On my way back.
Wonderful. I probably will be late tonight. We got some stuff with the group, and I meet with Cass.
Cool. It's gonna take me a few hours anyway, and I am looking forward to just crashing after.
Okay. Do you want me to get you some of those cream puffs you like from Main Street?
Yes, please. How... Is there anything I need to worry about when I come back?
I don't think so, other than the fact that Kat is pissed off, so wide berth.
What? Why?
I told you we'll talk more about that in person. It's a lot to try to talk about over the phone, and especially through text.
Gotcha. I will be as fast as I can. That sounds not great.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Stay safe?
I'm always trying my best to stay safe.
I assume you go get those desserts.
Yep.
Okay. Acquired easily enough. Even at this time. It's not too late yet. Back to Rufus and Shiloh. You guys driving around? Anywhere in particular that you're headed to?
Not unless Shiloh specifically says that she wants to see something. More so like showing her around downtown and, you know, stuff like that. Just quote-unquote touristy stuff, sort of.
Not really a whole lot of that in Detroit. Let's be real here. There's some. There's a few things. The waterfront's really nice.
He would also take her to that art park.
That's a fun one. So are the Opera House and a few other of the older locations that are just really nice. But there's other things to go see. More things like the art park. There's several of those around Detroit. And so, Shiloh, you get a kind of tour of Detroit. Fairly different than Atlanta, but I believe you've been to Detroit before, haven't you?
Back when she was alive still. It's been many, many, many years.
It's kind of gone through a significant change. So, guess we'll be back with you guys in a little bit. Lottie, are you going to see Cass?
First, as Rufus has requested, she'll let him know that she does have a meeting with her at the park if he's still wanting to go. You know what? She's actually going to call Rev instead of texting him.
Almost immediately picked up. Yes.
So I got a meeting with Cass, although kind of weird. Like, she doesn't remember me at all, which is, I guess, fine. I mean, she has her own shit to deal with. But I'm really on edge lately with everything going on and anything to Terrence.
Okay. I have a visitor with me currently. And he'll kind of turn to Shiloh. I have an associate that has a meeting that I requested to go to. Would you like to go with, or would you like me to drop you off somewhere?
I'd be happy to come with you and do whatever needs to be done.
The associate is a Ventru, if that makes any difference.
What faction?
Their own. Not really They were smart enough to get out of Chicago. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
Yeah, I work with them, so they're mostly trustworthy. All of this will, Lottie can still hear him.
Mm-hmm.
And the other person that the meeting is with a Bruja. They call themselves an Anarch. I haven't dealt with them a whole lot.
Is there no particularly strong political power one way or the other around here?
Since the Inquisition came through, no. Rebuilding's been a bit slow for us. Cat is about the only constant power that we've had.
I can see why.
Oh, yeah, just so you know, I kind of forgot to tell Cass that you would be coming. I should probably inform her of that, shouldn't I?
Or don't. It'll be fine.
Wait,
Okay,
we're showing
whatever.
up You're showing up unannounced in a Bruja's territory?
Oh, it's fine. She's an Anarch. It's not like we have to tell anybody that we're coming, right?
Okay.
That and she's annoying.
I mean, most Bruja are, but okay.
Maybe a quick, oh, by the way, I have an escort would be in line, Lottie.
Okay, I'll do that. Thanks, Rev. And Lottie will hang up. And she will just let Kassidy know. Oh, I have an escort. Just to let you know.
You'll get the emoji that's rolling its eyes. How many do I need to expect?
I don't know. 2, 3?
Cool.
I'm sure you're not going to be alone either. So, yeah, it is cool.
No response. Is anyone going to message the last member of your coterie? Or is he just going to be stuck at home all night?
Just leave William behind. I'm sure he'll be okay kicking cans down the road.
Well, every time Willie J is with us, all of a sudden a cat pops up and Lottie freaks out.
No, the cat followed Debbie around. It's fine.
Yeah, no. Lottie
fine
would
if
be
you don't.
nice. And... Yeah. Well, everybody else is together except for him. So, hey, William, what are you doing? Rev's out driving some VIP around. I have a meeting. Got anything going on?
Just disappointing my sire.
I mean, I need some extra lessons than that.
Just be honest and tell him you're accomplishing nothing in your life.
Is that how we do it?
Yep.
Well, do you want to come along with us, or are you good at home tonight?
Yeah, I'm coming along. And then I'll text Reverend and let him know that he's going to be coming with.
Do you want me and my driver to pick you up?
No, I want to check out this VIP Rev's got.
Okay.
You'll get a response of, You're lucky it's on the way.
So, you make your way over to Williams. Chris is not there. William, you walk outside and see the Reverend Mobile.
William will hop right on in.
I assume Shiloh's in the front passenger, William's in the back. Is the partition open or closed?
It'll be open.
Well, Willie will pop his head right up front and introduce himself to Shiloh.
Shiloh will kind of flinch back against the door at his sudden appearance.
No, it's alright, I'm not gonna hurt you.
She's just gonna stare at him waiting.
Toreador, it's fine.
She backs up further.
His sire's an issue, he's not.
She'll relax a little bit, but still give William a skeptical look.
Well, he's an issue to me, probably not to you.
Oh no, his existence is an issue to me. Again, another annoying one.
I've... Believe me when I say I've had my fill of annoying Toreadors.
No, it's fair. So what brings you to Detroit?
Business.
Mm-hmm.
She had to deliver a package.
William will kind of slink back into the back area.
As the exchange finishes, you guys pull off. Lottie didn't know Lottie didn't let you know where to go.
I said in a park.
Oh, yeah, a park. There's many.
Oh, damn. Yeah, so Lottie gets to the park first. And it's
Yep.
like, oh, shit, I didn't tell them where to go. And she'll, in our group chat, I'll just drop a pin. Be like, we're supposed to be here. Sorry, I forgot to tell you.
Rufus, you've been circling around, going through different parks where you know Cass's domain is.
Ah, there it is, and he'll hit the little link and come up.
It was one you had already been to, but you got there before Lottie, so you passed it on.
That tracks.
It is not too far from the art park. So, you are able to get out of the vehicle. The park is empty. And it looks like it has a playscape in it that may not be in the best of shape, but still decent. There's like some basketball hoops that seem to be used quite a bit. And just other park things. Walkway and everything. So, Lottie, you're standing there waiting on them. Your driver has dropped you off and driven away. So, you guys see Lottie standing out there. What kind of outfit is Lottie wearing tonight? I am curious.
Oh, yes. Let's see here. Tonight, Lottie is wearing, like one of those caped, like power suits. That is, let's go with hunter green today. And she has her hair pulled up, not in her normal like power ponytail, but in like a tight like bun. Maybe like a French twist do.
That is what you see.
Lottie, I believe introductions are in order. This would be Paula.
Nice to meet you, Paula.
Hi.
Cass isn't here yet, and or is making us wait, and is somewhere close by.
Are you sure about that?
I'm not sure about anything.
Shiloh will kind of sigh and activate Sense the Unseen.
There is nothing hidden here. Which is surprising to you. You'd think there'd be at least one Nosferatu around, right? But alas, there is not.
Wow, there really is nothing here.
It's odd. It's a bit eerie, but it's Detroit, so.
I mean, you know the adage about a Nos hiding in every shadow?
Not when there's 5 in the entire city.
Story for later, I'm sure.
It's definitely very long.
It's really not. Mainly hunters and then a Niktuku.
I'm sorry, a what?
Nosferatu Diablerus that only hunts Nosferatu.
That's not a weird Sabbat experiment gone wrong, is it?
No, actually, it's quite the opposite. It's what's the founder of the bloodline? It's one of their zealot followers, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Anyway, we've taken care of the issue. The only further incidences that we've had with Nosferatu are fully explained, so it's fine.
Fair. And Shiloh will just quietly start looking, continue looking, keeping Sense the Unseen up as long as she can.
Okay. Yeah, you can keep it up. Nothing shows up on your radar. After a little bit, you guys do end up hearing footsteps come closer, and then there is probably a couple sets, and around one of the buildings, you see Cass. She is wearing her typical oversized sweater and like ripped up skinny jeans. And there is 3 other people with her. And she starts making her way towards you.
Kassidy, always a pleasure to see you.
You act like I should remember you, but I really don't.
Maybe I'm just trying to be hospitable.
So, who's Terrence? You acted like I should know him?
Oh, you probably don't, but he is the one that gave me your information.
How the hell do you get that?
What I would really love to know myself now, since you don't know him at all. According to my sources, he turned in a lot of favors to get your information.
The hell does he want with me? The hell do you want with me?
It's a story. I wanted free of the Camarilla. Anarchs seemed like the place to go. Now I really don't care.
I mean, you got a room if you want to join.
This is true. There's room.
Is that all you wanted? You just say you're a damn Anarch and you are one. Who cares? Fight the Camarilla. Down with the tower.
Yeah. Delightful. It is just that easy here, isn't it?
Who the hell's gonna tell you otherwise?
I wonder that myself.
I thought there was this whole baronship that they still had to respect you and your authority in your barony.
Yeah, but she ain't living my barony, does she? Go claim your own. Who cares? I don't know. Would they?
So what if she wants to be an anarch and be with you? She has to live in your barony or something.
No, I told her to go
Or
claim
just-
her own.
Well, in that case, yay! I'm an anarch because I'm claiming my own.
Okay. As long as it's not mine.
It's nice, but isn't quite what I'm looking for.
Then get the hell out.
And he'll kind of turn to Shiloh. Like I said before, well.
Shell's just gonna kind of shrug and continue watching curiously.
So, I actually do have a question. You have thin bloods in a park not too far from here, right?
Yeah, I've met a few of them.
Met some. Well, I met, I believe, all of them last night. I think there's 5 or 6.
I don't know how many there are. I don't keep track.
Okay, just wanted to let you know. I don't know if you cared. Some people do, some people don't.
They really aren't causing me too many problems, and it bothers some of the people here, so I like them.
Well, if they cause you problems, just send them my way, and I'll make sure they stop causing problems for the better. I'm not going to get rid of them, because that's not the right thing to do. However, put them to work.
Well, that sounds like you have some not great plans for them.
I don't know, just idle hands at Devil's Plaything. Give them something to do, and they'll stop causing problems, right?
I mean, depends on who they're causing problems for. They're causing problems for the right people. In my opinion, then that's fine.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying if they're causing problems for you, send them my way.
They wouldn't be here if they're causing problems for me.
There. As long as it's the Camarilla, right?
Yep. Ellie's is a little bit far away, but They make their way out there sometimes.
And that's why I'm saying send them my way. Put some use to them.
I mean, they want to go. Sure, they can go cause problems for you.
Or with. Same thing, right?
Yep. I do know you, though. I think we met a couple of times.
I believe most recently at the ball. The Halloween ball.
Yeah, last year?
Yes.
You weren't that nice.
Well, you were in your barony, were you?
No, we were in our so-called Elysium.
Rather not call it that. Let's just call it a party.
Yeah, too Camarilla for my tastes.
Too structured.
Yeah, I like things a lot less of that.
So
Anyway.
above table, while they're talking, can Lottie have been trying to think of any aliases of Terrence's or his ghouls, anything that might tie Kassidy to Terrence in any way, shape, or form?
You were not given the information of the channels he went through. You don't really know his aliases. He kept that mostly from you, as you were just his stockbroker and then a child who didn't want to be part of the Camarilla.
I'm already a disappointment.
Yeah, a little bit.
Taking notes from Willie even before I knew him.
So yeah, you don't really know too many of his aliases. You might be able to think of a couple. You did run his businesses, but none that you would know that he used for these kinds of purposes.
Figured I'd ask. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt. Continue on.
Not a problem. You can attempt to make intelligence and etiquette be a difficult roll.
I mean, for giggles, why not? I got all blanks.
Nope. Not a clue. Unless you would want to try and reroll. You can reroll your black dice if you choose to.
Nah, this is funnier.
Okay, then yeah, no. None come to mind. So that it? You just want to tell me you wanted to be an Anarch?
No, I think I just wasted your time. And I'm starting to feel like that may have been Terrence's goal the whole time.
To waste my
My
time?
apologies. Wasting everybody's time.
Well, what? Is he Camarilla or something?
Yep.
Why the hell would I talk to him?
How else would I don't know. I was told to go see you because his contact's with you. I don't know. It's really suspicious now, and I want to look into it.
Why? You spying for him?
God,
Make your shit spy.
thanks. I am.
You are a shit spy, or you are spying?
I'm not spying for him. I was just trying to make light of the situation whenever you said I was a shit spy and said, yeah, I'm a shit spy.
Right. congratulations on getting out of the Camarilla, I guess. Maybe? Sure you aren't, Cam?
Yep. I'm sure.
Sounds like you got played.
Yeah, well, shit happens.
Always room to try and take down the tower. The only one we got here, though, is Ellie.
And she was forcefully removed from the tower.
So I hear. No one really likes going over there. It's too mad, they say.
Yeah. Good thing madness makes things interesting sometimes.
Sure. It ain't that great for us.
I mean, she's also a Malkavian, so it just kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, something like that. You guys gonna go say hi to her?
Oh, absolutely.
Don't come back after then.
Oh, what you don't want to ride with? I'm sure it'll be
Nah.
a wonderful time.
Nah, I've got other plans to take out that tower.
When you act upon them, let me know so I can possibly aid if it's needed.
Sure.
Paula, if you haven't realized, we don't like Cam around here. Which I'm sure the sentiment's, well, the same.
She'll just kind of smile blandly.
Right, I know those two now. Who are you two?
William.
And she's just visiting, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Katarzyna has graciously offered her hospitality. Unfortunately, I'm sure you've heard the unfortunate circumstances surrounding that.
I've heard some stories. Alright then. Well, I'm not gonna piss her off. So, if you guys don't need anything, I'm done here.
Always a delight. Enjoy your evening.
You too. Don't poke the dragon too hard. Then she'll begin to walk away.
And Rufus will just kind of smile and walk back to the van.
Okay.
Lottie follows him.
The other two people that came with her do end up following after her.
So Lottie follows after Reverend. And once they're actually in the van, they're like, what the fudging hell was that? I don't understand anything going on right now.
I believe that was a attempt for Terrence to gather information, waste time, and make people mad?
Yeah, well, it worked on me, so that's a delight.
Well, there's some... I don't... No, he said trust my gut. He said trust my gut. There's not something right about her. I don't know what it is, but there's something off about her. I mean, like, not in a brouhaha way.
Yeah.
She's as I said before, annoying at the very least. She seems a bit more standoffish than most brouhahas that I know. But it's not 100% sure where she comes from. So that might have something to do with it.
Might want to watch your back if you keep dealing with her.
I don't intend to, personally.
Yeah. Ew. Oh, hi, I'm Lottie, by the way, Paula. We didn't really get a chance to properly introduce ourselves.
Nice to meet you.
Did you give her the nickel tour of Detroit? Or the dollar tour of Detroit?
I believe it was more of a penny, personally.
I don't know, considering how expensive gas seems to be around here, I'd say it was more of the dollar tour.
Yeah, but money is meant to be spent. So you should really get the better quality of things here.
I mean, given the gift that you gave me, I believe a better tour might be in order.
We'll see.
Do you want to go shopping? I can definitely get one of the shops to open up again. I did that last night, and I'll do it again because I love to shop. We can get you all decked out.
While I appreciate the offer, it is best if I try and lay as low as possible. I'm trying not to attract attention while I'm here.
They won't remember anyways. I make them forget.
I mean, I can too if I need to, but still, I try to avoid it altogether. It's never really been my thing.
To each their own. Figured I'd offer.
Anyway, about what we discussed last night, Lottie. Want to take a tour of my claimed area, as it were?
Sure, let's.
It'll be a big step down for you. I'm just gonna warn you right now.
It's okay. I'll build it up to something better eventually. It'll take some time, but I got the money.
I don't think you fully understand how bad this area is necessarily.
I'm trying to look on the brighter side in the silver lining of the storm cloud. Don't bring me down, Rufus, okay? Don't bring me down.
Oh, and I can take you by the school as well.
Okay.
Assuming you don't mind, Paula.
Not at all.
So yeah, Rufus will start heading that way.
Okay.
However, before he starts heading that way, he will put the wooden box in the safe underneath his bed.
Easy enough to do.
You know, if you don't want to drive, I can hire us a limo for the night.
You don't want to take a limo down there.
You're probably right.
Oh, is it that part of town?
It's east of 30 and south of 8 Mile, north of 95 and west of Highland Park. So I'm sure you've heard of at least one of those roads.
Yeah, pretty familiar with the area.
I'm sure it'll be very familiar.
For your sake, I hope that it's not. Otherwise, I question where you really came from.
Oh, I came from Chicago. It's okay.
Okay. Anyway, and he'll head out that way.
Okay. There is the potential you could know Terrence Shiloh, by the way. It's been in Chicago a while. Whether you bring that up is up to you or not.
She might, out of curiosity, ask Lottie a little bit about this Terrence.
Sure. Why? Do you know him? Cold, calculating man. He has brown hair. Usually has it kind of... He actually keeps up with the times for hairstyles, so it's like one of those styled back shoes for men. Wears a 3-piece suit.
I'll be honest, that sounds like a lot of Kimmery Aventru. However, it does sound vaguely familiar. I have run into him while we were in Chicago.
Yeah, he's an ass, isn't he?
It's been the better part of 20 years. Most of the people I've run into are assholes, so...
I met a person once in a bar that said all kindred are assholes all the time.
Most of them, I'm sure.
So, as this conversation is happening, you make your way into the area. It is not great. Some places are fine. A lot of it's not great. A lot of houses being used for recreational purposes. Many are should be condemned. There's some businesses there. There's not a ton. There's some open areas. It's probably a little bit worse than the sprawl was before your group took it over.
Lottie pulls out her phone and opens up the notepad and just starts making a list of all the things she wants to fix as soon as she sees them. New grass, better trees, flower park, dog park, playground.
Make sure you put a grocery store on that list. This place looks like a food desert.
It does. Maybe 2. 1 on each side. Just keeps adding.
And eventually, you make your way to the school. It's not great. It's definitely seen some better days. But, Rufus, if you would like to do a description of it, feel free.
It is as most schools are, a large brick building. It is actually 3 stories. Most of the windows are boarded up, but you don't, and like spray painted on and all that fun stuff. But the brick itself seems to be fairly clean. The doors are actually intact. The chain on them might be broken, so people can come and go as they please. However, doors are intact. There's still glass in them. It has the main building and then a small side building off to the side. As you drive around, it actually has a large back part as well. And it'll kind of pull into the parking lot. And it's like, so the back part here, if I'm not mistaken, is the auditorium. It had a fire in it 5 or 6 years ago. However, it's still structurally okay. And then, of course, being a school, it's got a gym. Underneath the gym's a swimming pool, apparently. I haven't been inside to check, but most of the school's in fairly decent conditions. Got the cafeteria. I figure that side over there, and he points to the smaller side, could be for Valentina. Could be whatever she wants to do with it. The rest of it, I have plans for. So.
And what are the full plans here?
So, using the bottom floor specifically, and officially closing the top floor to everybody else, because fire and smoke damage is definitely a possibility. Using the bottom floor for community outreach, redoing the gym for a homeless shelter, and redoing the auditorium for, well, a church space.
Okay.
If you want to, we could probably explore a little bit.
I feel up for exploring. Can I borrow your sneakers, though? She looks down at her very expensive shoes. If not, it's okay. I can go barefoot.
There's probably broken glass in there.
I mean, you're probably right. But shoes.
Think about it as an excuse to just get new shoes tomorrow night.
Or actually,
these ones are vintage.
Right, these shoes are too. However, and he'll go in and he'll pull out the half-ruined pair that they went exploring with. And he'll put those on and hand you the sneakers. They might be a bit big, but they're something.
Cool. I would assume so. You're much taller than I am. Tiny little thing. And as she takes off her heels, she shrinks 3 to 4 inches.
He'll also hand you a couple pairs of socks and be like, I don't know if that'll help, but at least it'll fill the gap.
Thank you, Rufus.
So, have you seen children walking in parents' shoes? It's a bit like that. They are very too large on her.
And yet she doesn't make a sound while she walks.
Do you need help placing that? I know a couple tricks to get him to stay a little bit better.
I'm just gonna relace them and get them a little tighter. I think we'll be okay.
Okay, well, If you need my help, just let me know.
What's been going through William's mind at this time?
I'm excited to explore the school.
Okay. So, you guys go in. Are you going through the front door?
Probably one of the rear doors, if we can.
Dex and larceny. And are you guys being sneaky?
Yes.
I got 2 successes on that.
Do I get my bonus dice for breaking in?
If you're doing the larceny, this is just a... Oh, is that under a stealth one?
Yeah, it's under stealth freaking.
Then yes. Has Rufus replaced his lockpicks?
Yes, he would have.
Okay. Did you fail?
Okay. No, I got a messy crit. So I got 3 criticals and 2 regular successes, and one of those crits is messy.
Okay. Okay. And
That's 8.
remind me what that triggers for you?
Let me see here.
Yep,
That's compulsion.
It's been a minute. Yes.
Okay, so compulsion. We just switched it to the hierarchy one, which
Mhm.
I forgot to copy over.
That's fine. I don't remember the mechanics behind that one because it's new.
Well, I
And-
still have the arrogance one up, and this is the need to roll rears its head in the vampire. They will stop at nothing to assume the end of the situation.
Right, that's the one you have on your sheet, but did you want to do the swap?
I did, and I just forgot
Okay.
to switch it because we were talking about it.
Right, that's all I needed to know. I actually have it pulled up here. Let's see. You suffer a penalty to discipline dice pools equal to the Bane severity when attempting to use their powers on a vampire of lower generation. You must also spend willpower equal to Bane severity if you wish to directly attack a vampire of lower generation. So, if you try to do something in Rufus, you'll have a problem.
Lottie's Generation 13, right?
Yes, and William,
Yes,
and Shiloh.
Yep.
So literally, if you do it to almost anyone.
I'm the baby here.
William is Generation 12, so it probably affects him too.
Yeah, everyone's a lower generation than Lottie.
Yeah, Lottie's 13.
For a minute, I thought you were 12, but yes. So you just can't use your powers against anyone without problems. Obey the leader.
Cool.
Terrence taught you that one well, didn't he?
Damn straight he did. Beat me
Oh.
in. Beat it into me real good.
A point of making sure that we cover this. Rev did grab his personal protective devices.
Okay. Good to know, good to know. I'm sure you might be meeting some people here. Alright. So 2 does get you in. It's been opened many times. You're mainly just making sure you didn't fail completely. So, you guys make your way in. What was all of your stealths?
Shiloh got a 3.
Rev
You're-
got a 3 as well.
Your urban would kick in for this, obviously.
Yep, I rolled with it.
Okay.
It would be Dex and Stealth, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 2 successes.
Okay, so fairly noisy bunch here for some of you, aka William. Ungraceful Toreador, it's quite the sight. So you make your way into the back, which I believe leads into the gym? Don't remember this layout, I'm sorry.
It's either the gym or auditorium, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, well, we'll call it the gym. So you enter and make your way into the very large gym. The first floor, I believe, was the pool? Or was the basement the pool?
Basement was the pool.
Okay. So it's open to a large indoor court. The floor is bubbled and misshapen and odd looking in places. But it seems sturdy enough. Whatever happened is no longer compromising the integrity of the actual flooring. You don't know how damaged the structure is, but it's sound enough to walk on. It is massive. This could easily hold very large classes.
And this is why I wanted to make a homeless shelter here.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It would probably hold 200 to 300, especially if we outfitted with bunks and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, especially with the bunks. It'd definitely hold a few more. Looks good.
Now, obviously, we'd have to rip up the flooring. I'm sure there's concrete underneath the fatty casts. So that's not that huge of a deal. Concrete usually holds pretty well. The roof would have to be replaced, though. And that is quite the undertaking.
Yeah. We're definitely going to need Valentina's assistance on this because it'll cost a few million easily to do all the repairs.
Exactly. Oh, wait until you see the auditorium. It's a thing.
Even better. Great. What about the kitchen, cafeteria?
Besides the drop ceiling being torn down, I think it's in mostly decent condition. We'd have to buy appliances, but that's not a huge deal.
Has someone looked at the plumbing?
Not yet. Again, one of those things that when we get into it, we'll have to really check. However, it was renovated in 2010 and shut down in 2012. So, assuming no pipes burst or anything, should be okay.
It's kind of sad that it shut down so soon after being renovated.
Attendance dropped drastically.
Oh.
That would do it. Well, onward.
Mass migration out of Detroit. So, you guys continue on. I believe the auditorium would be probably the next logical stop in the floor's blueprints that we were not able to find. So,
yes.
I believe you remember what this part looks like more than I do.
Yeah, so you know how high school auditoriums have the seats, kind of like movie theaters, where it's just metal frames and then anchored to the ground. So it's just a bunch of anchors in the ground. The walls are burned up. The wood that is there is ash. There's a large hole in the roof over the stage. And he's like, this would be my pet project that I would take my time with.
Money too.
Yes. However, when done, not only would I hold sermons here, but like we could allow musical events as long as they catered to the correct crowd.
Yeah, coming in.
You really
Figured.
take the Reverend thing seriously.
Well, you're nothing if you don't have faith in something, right?
And what do you have faith in?
It kind of depends. God might not necessarily be the correct place to put faith in. However, kindness and goodness of mortals' hearts.
I was going to look at Reverend somewhat confusedly at that remark.
What, you don't believe that people are inherently good? Yes, there's bad people, don't get me wrong, but I would venture to say that the majority of people are, at the base, good. They just do, or they're thrown in bad situations, therefore they do bad things.
I get that part. Just the not putting your faith in the God part is confusing for me, given your whole personality.
Right. You do know the whole circumstances behind, like, how we came about, right?
From Cain, correct?
Yes, and the whole first sin, and then God was like, "You're gonna be like this." So I have it written down somewhere. Maybe I'll find it later and hand it to you, so you can do a little bit of light reading.
Okay.
But anyway, so faith in God, not necessarily. He's there. He, she, they, them, it, whatever.
There's
There.
many gods, many deities.
But yeah, as far as actual faith in, no. Just for the simple fact of not going to do anything for us. We'll do things for them, but not us. I mean, I could go on and preach and do all those other things, but that's not what we're here to do.
Some other time.
Yes, not yet at least.
So, you guys continue on. You walk them down the hallways. Rufus, show them the classrooms. Some of them look fine. Some of them could use some work. Some still have desks pushed up all over the place. There's a mess in others. It's been used. People have been here, obviously. There's graffiti, there's broken things. Good bones, though. It was obviously a very beautiful school when it was in its prime. You take them up, show them more classrooms. There's more heavier sustained damage to the upper floors. Still fixable. But the auditorium also has areas here where you can look over it. I believe they had upper locations as well.
Yes, it does.
So kind of like sweet boxes. They're pretty nice. Get to the upper location. Was there anything you wanted to show them on the upper 2 floors?
On, I believe it's the 2nd floor specifically, right outside of the auditorium, like balcony. He would walk into a small room, and if you were paying attention, the little plaque on the wall says Media Center. Now, Lottie, I actually have something in mind for you as well. I'll give you this space to do whatever it is that you so choose to do.
Ooh, information. I like this. Can we block out the windows, though?
I'm sure it probably wouldn't be too big of a deal. Good thing, it is an interior room, so the windows really don't matter.
No, they don't.
So yeah, worst case scenario, we paint them black for short term and then get them fixed later.
That would work. Just thinking it'd be nice. Worst case scenario, we need a place to sleep for the day. Have a place to do that. Doesn't have to be this room, obviously, but
Oh, I have my own space picked out for that.
well, that's good for you. What about the rest of us? You don't expect us to sleep with you, do you?
Please watch your phrasing. That was a little bit weird.
As much as I would like to agree with Paula, I understand the question, but no. Actually, if you just follow me, and he kind of walks down the hall a little bit and takes you to a larger room. It's all wood. It's actually in fairly decent condition. It's got a spiral staircase up to a small door. It's like, this would be mine. It used to be the library.
I was just gonna ask if it was the library.
It's amazing that staircase is still intact. That's a gorgeous piece of work.
I know. It's when I attended some basketball games here when it was still in use. The whole school really excited me. I don't know if that's the right word, but yes. So I got to take a little bit of a tour, and I just liked this space. I figure if I can just fill it up with books. A recent acquaintance of mine, and King, showed me the value in books. Figured I could probably start a small collection at the very least.
Yes, best of luck with that. Although I don't think this will end up being a very small collection.
Oh, it's fine. One of the collections, it's very old, needs a lot of space.
Paula's just doing her best to hide a smirk.
Anyway, onward, and he'll take you to the top floor. And up here, I believe I would make apartments for us. And by us, I mean kindred.
Yeah, I'm sure the Thin Bloods would appreciate a more stable place to stay.
And whoever just so happens to be in the area that needs a place to stay.
Yes, them too.
So you have a good-sized group of Thin Bloods up here as well?
Like I said, only 5 or 6. Not too many.
Huh.
Enough.
How many do you have where you're from?
I personally have only probably met maybe 3 or 4, but I'm sure there are more. I was not their primary contact in the city. One of my Coterie mates is.
That's fair. Anyway, so let's believe this one would be the nickel tour since we walked. But that's the general idea of what I have.
So where's the space that you were thinking about giving to Valentina?
Oh, it's the small side. Well, not very small. It's nothing about this school is small, but it's the side building. I believe it was a career technical center when it was in use.
Oh, interesting.
Right. It has a lot of larger spaces. I feel like they would be good office spaces or small dormitories or whatever it is they need.
Right. We'll have to set up that meeting so that you can speak to her.
In due time.
Okay. Unless you want me to take care of it all.
I feel like since it's my project, I should probably talk to her about it.
I would agree with that. Speaking of which, I don't know if anybody knows, but does she just dislike men or something? Like, all of her workers, like personal workers, are female.
I don't know personally.
I believe she runs some women's shelters as well, so she might have something to do with her past.
I very well could. I was just curious. Is the pool still in decent order? Having it
no.
as no, definitely not. I was just
No,
thinking having
we'd
it
have
as
Yes,
operational would be nice for swimming lessons and whatnot.
I believe a basement tour is in order.
Well, we can go down there. Just watch your step. There's stuff everywhere. Also, I can't guarantee that there won't be hidden people, things, and other whatever.
Oh. Okay, then.
I mean, it's a basement, so...
I mean, if it's a problem, we don't have to look into it. I was just curious, you know. I remember, you know, kids like to swim, and swimming lessons were a thing.
So, as a point of note, the weather did kind of take a turn for the worse today, because it's early February. This school, if you were still mortal, would be nearly unbearably cold. There is better places to be if you do not have much shelter than a large open concrete area with holes to the outside. So, probably why you have not really run into anyone here tonight.
So, downstairs we go?
Downstairs.
So, as stated, the pool is in a bit of a wreck. There's debris in the pool. There's things ripped off the wall, tiles that need to be replaced. But it is repairable. It's not that big of a deal. As far as the rest of the basement, though, I don't have that information.
Which part of it?
Just the rest of the basement that's not the pool.
Oh. I don't really know what else is down there either. Above the table, above the table, it was very difficult to find information on what the floor plans of this place is actually like. We could not find it. So, now, back to the game real fast. Moving out of the pool room, there is like the changing areas and everything. Most of them are okay. Some of the lockers are broken, but there is a large amount of the lockers sectioned off into gendered areas. And then there is the facilities that keep the place running. The boiler room, where the heater is, and it is this... I imagine there is an old octopus furnace in there still. Whether it is what powers the school or not, who knows? Without actually digging into the innards of the school itself. But I imagine it would probably still be there. It would be a lot to take out. And it takes up a mass amount of this basement. But there is a lot of what would have kept it ticking. Not great condition. A lot of it has been stripped. Pipes are obviously missing and pulled off. But the foundations aren't cracked. Everything looks to be actually pretty sturdy where it needs to be. Find some janitorial spaces.
Can I ask a cultural question here? What is it with Americans and these, like, partial doors? I really don't understand this.
Oh, the half doors.
Yes, why? You guys like it whenever people peek in underneath the stalls at you all? Like, is it a perverted thing? I don't understand it.
It's an easy way to tell if somebody's in there without having the little flip over thing. At least that's what I'm going with.
Ugh.
That's just in case of a medical emergency or anything. Someone can check in on you easily.
Yeah, no, I don't know. An invasion of privacy. I hate it so much.
Well, good thing you don't have to go to the bathroom anymore.
This is true. It's just, this always bothered me. I don't understand why America does this. Like, do they not want privacy? And if all the bathrooms were, completely closed off, it wouldn't matter what gender they are.
Right, but that's not the American way of thinking, so...
I suppose not. I know, it's a weird tangent of mine. Anyways, so this is the basement. It's... could be worse.
Serviceable. Yes. As expected, pipes have been hauled off for scrap money and whatever else. So, I'm sure it's not going to be cheap to fix, but I still remember how to fix some things.
I know how to pull out a checkbook.
Without dating myself, this is why people nowadays are perceived lazy, because they'll just get somebody else to do it. Sometimes rolling up your sleeves isn't the worst thing in the world.
So are you going to teach me how to be a handyman then? Handy woman, I apologize.
I mean, I'll teach you how to put ducting together. It's not hard.
Okay.
Now, since that was the tour of pretty much the entire building that matters. Where to next? Or more exploration of where I'm going to claim.
Yeah, let's look around for locations for a grocery. Maybe we could also do one of those community garden things. That's the thing, isn't it? Maybe. I mean, it's not really the season for it.
Oh, we'll just use where the, next to where the football field is. The idea is opening that back up to the public to use.
Wonderful.
Also, if you actually garden, I would love to see this. I don't believe that you would.
I had an herb garden whenever I was still immortal. And a little bit while I was a ghoul.
Rufus, your phone goes off.
Okay, he'll see who it is.
It is one member of your herd, specifically the police officer.
Okay. Call or text?
It's a text asking if you are free.
I can be.
It immediately rings.
He will pick it up. Hello.
I'm not on duty tonight. One of the people I work with said that they had someone real weird get pulled in. I think it might pique your interest because you asked me to look out for something like that.
Okay. Which precinct?
She would give you the address. It's one... kind of just below Cat's. Not
Okay.
in Cat's area, not in Cass's area, but kind of in that space in between. To the west of it.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll head down there just to see who they are, if they'll give me information, but I know I'm trying to get some other people off the street. Might be one of the people that I've already talked to.
I just wanted to let you know.
Many thanks. We do have to meet up at some point, so like I said, whenever you're free, let me know, and I'll make it a point to meet you wherever it is that you want to meet.
I can meet tomorrow. Or later tonight, whichever works for you.
As long as I don't keep you up too late.
I should be fine.
Okay. I will let you know when I'm done at the precinct.
Okay.
Okay. I will see you later then, and he will hang up. I've got to go to the police station. You're welcome to join if you want to. If you don't want to, I can drop you off wherever it is you want to be dropped off at.
Well, I can always just have my driver pick me up from the precinct.
I'd be happy to tag along a little longer if you'll have me.
Yeah, I'll come with them as well.
All right. So, off to the precinct.
Okay. It will take you a little bit to drive there. And we are probably pushing into the later hours of the evening into the early morning. You're not short on running
Okay.
out of time yet, but it is something to keep in mind to make sure that you can get to a safe place.
Okay.
You make your way there, unimpeded.
All right. He would walk inside.
And there is a person manning the desk.
Good evening. I got a call from one of my associates, one Officer Robinson, saying that you had an individual that was acting a bit sporadically, a bit odd. They might be one of the people that I might be able to help. Is there any way that I'd be allowed to see them this evening?
Are you gonna be able to? They're like, they need to cool off for the night.
I may be able to calm them down.
If you can't, I can.
It's not. I really shouldn't let you back there. It's not. I don't think you're someone they have called. If Officer Robinson called you,
Right. I'm their pastor, and she's the acting psychiatrist. They have some mental illness, and just we want to do an assessment. That's all we want to do.
manipulation and subterfuge.
Just as a point, Lottie did not go inside the police.
Okay.
precinct.
Did William?
No, you will figure it out. The less people, the better.
Can
Okay.
Shiloh assist with this role since she's also there?
Is Shiloh saying anything or just letting Rufus talk?
She'd confirm whatever he's saying, but I don't know if she would actively volunteer much.
Okay, go ahead and roll your dice. And however many successes you have it. Because you're not doing more than confirming.
So I got 5 successes, so would half of that be 2 or 3?
We'll round up. In
Totally your
this.
call.
Yeah, we'll go up.
I too got 5 successes.
Okay. You can see they are kind of going back and forth mentally if they should let you or not. They're like, I want to, this person really needs help, but, I could get in a lot of trouble for this.
How could we go back there without you getting in trouble?
Hang on. They will just kind of shake their head. Like, you know what, they just need help. I don't know what's going on. And they will lead you back.
Okay.
And so you were led back, and it's kind of just in the one of the 24-hour hold things. It's nothing huge. They didn't do anything to warrant any more extreme measures yet. But you can See, the person is very clearly agitated, and give me, both of you, a wits and awareness.
I got 2 successes.
Okay.
Four successes.
Okay. Shiloh, you managed to catch that this person is not breathing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I got brought in, the police officer speaks. Yeah, I got brought in a little bit ago. We kind of were just going to hold him for a day. If we didn't hear from anyone else.
I think this is I think we can help him. She'll look very pointedly at Rev.
Right. Yeah, just can you give us just a couple minutes?
Just hurry up. And it will go to the door and kind of like nervously look between the desk and you guys, but far away enough that you could speak without a problem.
All right. So, Rev will use his second dot presence skill and awe.
Okay.
Hey there, friend. Come here.
And as they turn, you can see their posture had been originally very hunched over and like pulled in. And you can see now that they've kind of turned to you. Their face is no longer buried in the small scarf they had. The facial features are a little bit more animalistic than you had anticipated originally. Shiloh, you would recognize this. Tori has had a similar facial reconstruction happen.
Oh no. Oh man. Do their eyes seem do their eyes seem feral, or are they kind of coherent?
How far away are you?
She'd probably keep social distancing about 5 or 6 feet, close enough to see them, but far enough away to step out of reach quickly if she needs to.
They appear to have enough wits about them to not physically attack anyone that is in front of them. But there is kind of clearly a lack of more or less human intelligence in the eyes. For lack of better phrasing. It's the beast is there. But they are themselves enough to not lash out immediately. But they are staring at Rufus. And it's hard to tell what presenting gender they are. They're a little bit on the stockier build, but also fairly androgynous looking.
This is not good. Rufus, if you'll be willing to trust me for a moment, I have something that might take the edge off.
Do I need to create a diversion?
I don't think so. Just as long as the police officer doesn't interrupt us, I think it'd be a good idea for you to stay nearby.
Okay. Worst case scenario, I can do things.
Good to know. Okay. And so Shiloh is going to very nervously kneel down about 4 feet from the apparent kindred and try her best to make eye contact with them.
So, they do not look at you at all. And even the police officer is beginning to be unable to take their eyes off of Rufus.
He will kind of realize what's going on, deactivate awe.
The police officer kind of shakes their head and goes back to glancing out into the entrance area. And then, who is the closer between you two to this person? Shiloh or Rufus?
Rufus would give Shiloh her space.
Okay. As you step back, the gangrel's eyes snap to Shiloh.
I may be able to help you, friend. Will you let me help you?
You receive kind of a growl in return, which may surprise you. I'm not sure what kind of interactions Shiloh has had with Gangrel outside of Tori, but in this state, Tori was able to manage words. This one does not appear to be having an easy time of that.
Okay. This may work, this may not, but I gotta try something. And she is going to pull back her beanie just a little bit, lock eyes so that the third eye is also staring at the gangrel, and use Obeah to try and help calm them down just enough so that they can get a little mastery of themselves back.
Okay. Now, I do not have Obeah pulled up in front of me. Let's find it.
Composure and awe specs against difficulty 2 restores a number of superficial willpower damage, blah 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 blah.
So it doesn't do anything to help bring them back from the beast to the edge?
It doesn't say anything about the beast per se.
It's an Auspex ability?
Yes.
Come on. And I'm sorry, which one was it?
Obeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as a player, above table, I don't know if it'll work, but I believe Shiloh would try it in character, so...
I believe at the Atlanta game we have used it for this before, correct?
With Steven, yes.
Then yes, we will follow continuations of that. Go ahead and make your roll. Did you do it contested willpower, Dengle?
If I remember correctly, I think I rolled humanity.
Okay.
Yeah, it was... I threw you guys a bone on that one.
I got 4 successes. I can spend a willpower to reroll if I need to.
You won. So, Slowly, you see the feralness in the eyes recede, and some of the intelligent spark that humanity brings with it come back into the eyes.
As that happens, Shiloh will quickly pull her beanie back down.
And the person appears to just kind of be like quickly pulling their scarf up and like freaking out a little bit.
Hey, are you feeling a little bit better now?
Who are you?
I'm just a visitor here to help you. Can you tell me what happened?
Got into a fight. Got a little out of control. I managed to not hurt the people, but that's not good.
Did anyone that wasn't supposed to see you?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know where this happened?
One of the back alleys not too far from here. I don't really know.
Okay.
I'm new here.
Okay. How new?
Maybe a week. Not long.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Kane's mercy. You're probably pretty hungry, huh?
Well, I'm new to the city, not that.
Okay, good. Whew. That makes me feel a little bit better. Rev, I think you're good now. And Shiloh will just kind of look over at him.
I assume he has been distracting the officer.
Yeah, he's been keeping a lookout at the very least. Now, we do have the other issue. They can't stay here during the day. So he'll kind of walk up to the officer and be like, got him calmed down. How do we get them out of here?
They don't know you, do they?
I mean, they do. Got him calmed down, right?
One more manipulation and subterfuge.
Alright, I've got 4 successes. I only have 1 blank, non-blood dice, so.
Okay. You're good. You can see they're still, like, really not comfortable with what's happening here. Like, I don't want to get in trouble for this. Who did you say called you?
Officer Robinson.
I'm gonna use
Has
her
paperwork
name.
been filed? Has paperwork been filed?
No. I was working on it.
Well, then they're not technically in the system, so...
I guess I'm gonna put that Officer Robinson came by then and got them.
Okay, that works. If you need a badge number, I can probably give that to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely need that.
Okay. And he'll just text, what's your badge number?
They'll send it to you? Why?
The odd individual, what I thought. I appreciate you letting me know about them in advance. They're calm down, they're getting out. They just need to know who to... Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the heads up.
So he'll give the information.
The person... uncomfortable, very clearly, but follows through with what they said. They had 1 success. So.
Okay.
They write it off, and get this person out. And you can see that they're eyeing them a little bit oddly, so you don't know what they saw, or what they know, or what they think. The officer,
just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity, why are you so uneasy? I mean, I know they were acting a bit erratically, but
maybe I just need to get more sleep. I swear some of the noises they were making, not human.
Oh yeah, that's
I must be need sleep.
Yeah, that's part of the mental disorder. It's unfortunately, military.
Oh yeah, I got a cousin who
Anyway, thank you again. Then he'll look at the little name tag. I will make sure that you get a thank you basket or something once they are better.
Okay. And it says Fuller as the last name.
Okay.
So you are escorted out of the back areas, and you are free with this gangrel.
Okay. Once outside, do you have a safe place to stay?
I've only been here maybe a week. I can find one, I guess.
And he'll pull out his little book and find his closest address that he uses.
Okay.
Just go here.
Rufus?
One of our herd and one of her psychiatric patients.
Oh.
Yeah. Go here. It's safe.
Okay.
Here. If you
My
run
name
into
is
any more
Alex.
issues,
What's yours?
Rufus. If you run into any more issues, do you have a phone?
And they'll pull it out. The screen's pretty cracked. Yeah, it still works.
Okay. And he'll give them his number.
Okay. And
If you run
now
into
that
any issues,
you can see them a little bit better, they appear to be fairly young.
If you need, I'm not going to say anything, but if you need stuff, just let me know. Might not necessarily be able to help, but I might be able to point you in the right direction, okay?
Yeah. Why are you helping me? I mean, yeah, obviously that was not a great situation, but why this? And what do I owe you?
I'll be in touch about that. It's not much. We can't have you being like you are in their presence, so that's, yeah. I got a call from somebody that I know saying that they got somebody odd, just so happened to be you. I like to be here. I know it's weird. I like it here. I've been here for quite a while. I intend to be here for quite a while, and I don't want them to come back and make more of us leave.
Right. And they will turn to you, Shiloh. And I don't know what you did. Thanks? What do I owe you?
Just your silence.
Sure. I'm gonna go, 'cause this, yeah. And they'll pull a scarf up. And they walk off.
Well, kind of surprised that worked, but I'm glad it did.
It's nice being able to do things like that, especially given, you haven't seen it in quite a while, and those that have the ability usually didn't use it like that. That I knew, at least.
That reminds me, you said there were others like me around?
Yes. Would Rev have a location for them? Or just names?
He would have a general location. Maybe a place they go to occasionally.
Okay. You would write down whatever the said location is. Hand it to Shiloh. Like, they like to frequent here.
Thank you.
I hope your stay in Detroit's less eventful than tonight has been.
Oh, I doubt it. Trouble seems to follow me like a wet blanket.
It's starting to do the same with me, so don't feel bad. Anyway, I have one more thing to attend to this evening. I hope I have time. So I will be leaving all of you here. Lottie, can you get Paula home?
Yep. My driver should be here in 5 minutes.
And I do apologize, William, but said I have that last appointment to keep, and I do want to try to keep it.
Yeah, no problem. You have a good night.
So, rewind a little bit here. As Rufus and Shiloh / Paula enter the building, what do Lottie and William do?
What do you think they'll be?
I have no idea.
I don't want to be rude and just leave now in case something happens and we're needed, but
Really depends on what happened. I got them in there.
yes, this is true. I'm honestly half expecting them to come out asking for bail money.
Probably. We'll see how we can talk our way out on this, and everyone seems to be pretty good at that.
Indeed, he is.
Also, I have no idea what Paula can do.
No clue. Lottie probably is making sure that her shoes are good after switching them back. But yeah, just casual talks with Willie J.
Okay, so since Faye is currently off doing her thing, Rufus would hop in the van, saying goodnight to all of you. And when Faye gets back, would be calling his Officer Robinson. Just for everybody's reference.
Sorry about that. I am back now. What are we doing?
Lottie and William were just having casual talks while waiting for Rufus. Rufus just left in his van, and the other trio is waiting for the car to come pick them up.
Okay. The car does arrive, and it is your normal driver, the one you get the most often. So they will take you where you want to go. And Rufus, you are keeping your appointment?
Yes, please.
Okay. Where would you like to meet them?
Closer to wherever they live.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily have to be their house, but
Oddly enough, not too far from where you have declared your new haven. Or your new domain. Not in it, necessarily, but not overly far from it.
okay.
So they give you a location of a place to meet, and they are waiting for you by the time you get there.
So he'll pull up and he'll go over toward their vehicle or wherever they're sitting, or inside, or wherever it is that they're at.
It is outside. There's not too many places open this early. You have a little bit of time left before sunrise, but not a huge amount of time.
Okay. Good morning.
Morning.
So I do appreciate you taking some time. I know, good news. The individual that we got, or that you gave me a call about, it was, they're having a bit of psychological trauma issues. No big deal. We took care of it.
The guy I talked to said he was acting like they were acting real weird.
Yeah. it's just another product of bad mental health care and unfortunate circumstance.
I believe that.
Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about a couple things. I know, like, we've been having these like random pop-up sermons here and there. I wanted to let you know that I am actually in the process of acquiring a space to have a permanent thing. That being said, when we get this up and running, I would like you to, if you can, if it falls under your patrol and all that fun stuff, just keep an eye out. I do intend on opening like a homeless shelter and other things.
I can probably get moved over to wherever you need me to. It might take a little bit of time.
It's not going to be an immediate thing. We haven't even started like acquiring the building or anything, but I do have a investor. It's probably going to be opening a women's shelter as well, or at least an investor in mind. I don't know if they're actually wanting to yet.
Oh, that would be great to have here.
Yeah. So, you know the big school just north of 95, 96, whatever it is?
Yeah.
That
I'm
shut
familiar.
down. It's there.
You're gonna get that?
I'm going to try.
I didn't think
Homeless
anyone was
shelters
gonna take that. That's a... Yeah, that fire did a number.
Yeah, but I mean, it's big enough for multiple people. It's got plenty of space. It'll allow for like offices, and if we do it right, we can like do community outreach from it and all that other fun stuff.
No, I think it's great. It's the shame that the building has gone to waste.
Right. And there's one other thing. And this is just me being cautious. Because you are one of the very few of the flock that actually like has their life together. If you personally run into anybody that seems off, seems odd, seems a bit, I don't know, Halloween-y, let me know.
Her face gets very confused for a minute before she just slowly nods. Okay.
Recently I've been out and there's been people that they, for lack of better explanation, they kind of like carry themselves kind of like a, I don't know, vampire of sorts. They like to put on the makeup and like the fangs and all that stuff.
I thought that was like a 90s thing. I didn't realize people were still doing it.
Yeah, it's the silliest thing, really. So if you come across these people and they start to cause issues for you, give me a call. If you can, of course.
I appreciate you wanting to help, but that's kind of my job. What are you going to be able to do?
It just so I know who and where are giving you issues, so like we can keep our people safe.
Okay.
So I can tell them to just not go there because they have an issue with what I'm doing apparently, and the fact that like I really only do like the stuff at night and I'm busy. I don't have a whole lot of time during the day, and I mean it's early. I haven't went to sleep yet, so I'm probably going to be going to bed here real soon. It's just how my body works. It's weird.
That's fine. When I can, I'll call and let you know. I'll do my best.
Okay. And again, if you run into anything weird, personally, or anything you think, surely that's not real, I would like to know. Again, it's just one of those things that I want to make sure people aren't trying to spread evil of sorts.
Okay.
And yeah.
I'll do my best. It might have to be after I get off my shift, but I'll do it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be on your off time. You enjoy your off time. It's just one of those things that I want to A, make sure that you're staying safe, and B, that if we see anything like that, we've got it covered, and I can at least ask about it.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'll do what I can.
Anyway, I've got to get going. Do you need anything from me?
Just need to know where to find you for your next sermon.
Probably gonna do it out back of the school, as long as weather's permitting.
Okay, I'll do my best to make it.
If not out back, I'll try to be in the gym. I've got a way in, so. And it's legal.
Are you sure?
Yes, I've got permission.
Okay.
So, anyway, you enjoy whatever time off that you still have. Get some sleep, get something to eat, whatever it is.
Yeah, sounds
actually,
like
as a
you need
matter
to
of
get some
fact,
sleep too.
Actually, as a matter of fact, it'll pull out a $20 bill and just get breakfast on me. Okay?
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Trust me.
All right. I do. And she will take the money.
Have a good morning.
Go get some sleep.
Yeah. And he'll hop back in the van and drive, probably not super far away.
Okay.
And get ready to pass out.
Alrighty. So, Lottie, the driver, asks where the first stop is.
Whoever's closest.
Where would Shiloh like to go?
Shiloh would give the address of the casino she's been staying at.
Okay. So William's place would be first, and then Shiloh's, and then Lottie would be the last one. So William, you arrive back at your haven. Chris is there, actually, when you get back. Hey, how you doing?
Good. Had a good time last night with the rest of the Thin Bloods.
Yeah, it was real interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff that we can do.
I haven't really looked into what the Thin Bloods can do, personally.
I don't really have a talent for it, but man, some of them can do some really crazy shit.
Well, let me know when you do start learning. Or Reverend, one of us.
I don't know if that's my thing. There's some weird shit they have to eat for that, but it's real cool.
Oh, neat.
It really is. You should see it one time. Later, they're not really cool with you guys yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, he seemed a little standoffish when he came out.
I guess a lot of you guys treat him real bad, so you've been great to me, so that's why I've been trying to get him to relax a little bit.
And as we said, in our society, Thin Bloods usually are considered the bottom rung.
Yeah, it's not really it's any different than the way I was living anyway.
Fair enough.
So, like, you do anything fun?
Then go talk to the Baron of the Bruja. Reverend showed us around where he's trying to set up his own thing and rescued a young girl from jail.
That's a real busy night. I just, like, hung out and watched him do shit and learned some stuff.
Yeah, if you ever form a coterie, you'll probably find yourself in one of these situations.
I don't think I want to do that then.
It's your prerogative.
Yeah, you guys are enough for me, I think. And with that... Oh, was there any more? Okay.
I was just going to say goodnight to Chris.
Yeah. So, as you guys prepare for the day's sleep, we will move on. Shiloh, you are dropped off at the casino. It is getting quite early in the morning now. The casino is pretty empty, and you are shown back once again by one of the people working for Valentina. Anything special you would like to do?
She'll take a quick look at the place that Rev mentioned. The other celebrity kind of like to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
See if she can like look it up on Google Maps on her phone or something. See if she can get an idea of where that location is.
Yeah, it's not near downtown. It's kind of a little ways out. However, it is, from the pictures of it, doesn't look too dissimilar to the art park that you saw. However, it looks like it's kind of a neighborhood that people have done similar things, like a street that people have done similar things to. Some of the houses have paintings on them. There's a lot of like things out in the yards. It's interesting.
She'll bookmark it as a reminder to search it out later on, either the next night or a couple nights later, depending on what comes next. And then she'll head off to sleep.
All right. Lottie. Willow.
Lottie.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Lottie goes in and calls Duncan and sees if Willow made it home yet.
Yes, Willow is sleeping. Potentially, instead of stopping for a couple breaks, just kind of tried to push through, and the odd schedule that she has to keep between being a ghoul and with Terrence and with you, she sleeps when she can. So she is passed out when you get home, but she is there and she is safe.
Lottie will get a better blanket than whatever blanket Willow snuggled up with and tuck her in better. Snuggles the dog for a little bit. We're heading off to bed herself.
Okay. So, if there's any last minute things you guys would like to do before the day sleep, let me know.
Rev will write down the thing for William. And
okay.
He will take like pictures of it and send it to William. Probably not easy to see, however, William will have them.
Well, thank Reverend and give William a shot.
Give what?
Give reading them a shot.
Oh, okay. And with that, we will wrap up this evening as the sun rises and the time of the kindred comes to a close for the day, and the mortals awaken and take over. It was an interesting night. Thank you for joining us in Blood and Hope Detroit, episode 8. Yeah, so announcements. We are back to our normal schedule now. Yay! Excitement abound. Check out our website. It will be up to date soon on everything. There is links for our Dice Legion discount. You can save some money while buying some fancy new dice. They don't sell D10 sets, I believe, unfortunately. However, they do have very nice dice sets that have been used in several of our games up to this point, and even in this game a little bit. And they have other items like what Cocia is holding up, a little cute cat tray, buttons, pins, all sorts of stuff. They're really cool, nice company. They've done well for us when we've ordered things for them. So check them out. You can just follow the link and it'll automatically apply the discount. There is also a link to our Patreon where you can find, if you wish to support us, you can find some of our post-games talks about what happens after the game, our thoughts on it and everything. So give that a look if you can support us monetarily and you wish to. If you cannot, and even if you can, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps get the word out for us, helps spread us to other people. Every view helps spread the word of our chronicles, which we would love, because we would love to make this more known. So yeah, website is TPKrit.com. Check that out. You can find a bunch of our stuff on there, links to our own bios where you can find out a little bit more about us personally, bios for our characters, and some information about the games. I don't know what else there is.
Just go to the website, find things. It's awesome.
Yeah, we have links to,
for us.
we have links to pretty much everything on there.
YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all the podcast locations.
Yep, you can even find a link to our stream on there too, because I did that. So check it out, please. We would appreciate it. Also, we need to get better at doing this at the beginning. Obviously, there's trigger warnings for this episode. I'll put in a reminder of that in the beginning. But we will start doing that on the beginning of the games. This one obviously has some religious overtones and undertones to it, amongst other things. So, if it bothers you, please skip the parts or the game. We don't want you to compromise your mental well-being. We care about you and want you to be well. That being said, thank you for joining us. We hope that you come listen or watch us again. Have a good night and stay safe.
Sweet dreams.